guys, happy Monday to you. I wanted to get on here and do a quick video, but before I start this video, let's get the YouTube disclaimers out of the way to keep me out of YouTube jail. None of my content or statements constitute professional advice. Viewers that follow any advice, statements, or content of my channel do so at their own risk because you are responsible for your own actions, and of course that's the way that it has to be. Alright, let's jump right into it. Alright, this video is I'm just musing, okay? I'm just trying to walk through my thoughts on what might allow Fisker to survive. And I have lots of thoughts, and I have lots of problems with my thoughts. What may potentially get us through this, what may not, what's possible, what's not, and honestly, I don't have all the answers. So, this is just speculation on my part, and I'm going to go through a bunch of these. The first thing I would like to get out of the way is the note holder. Pretty much the note holder owns us. So what happens going forward, I think, is a large degree to the note holder. Now, of course, we had secured $150 million with the note holder, but that was before we got delisted from the New York Stock Exchange. I personally don't see how we raise money with the note holder being at, 0.02. Even if you took 2 billion shares, what do we raise? $40 million, I don't see how we do that. So, do we renegotiate with the note holder? What's possible, what's not? Not sure about that one at all. The most obvious thing for us to raise money immediately is the selling of our inventory. Now, I have been tracking several people that have reached out to Fisker, got on the website and have tried buying Oceans. And the vast majority of the ones that I have been talking to have not had any significant follow-throughs. I've had a couple that were contacted, just a handful, but most have simply, it's been like a ghost. They call Fisker, they wait on the phone for, an hour and a half for sales. They've not been contacted back through their emails. So, you can look at that two ways. Is Fisker so busy selling Oceans that they're not getting back to customers, or are they just incompetent and, sales have the potential to be great, but they're not because Fisker's not following through with these. I don't have the answer to that. I wished I did, but I simply don't know. And I'm an Ocean owner, and I know how slow it can be to get things done with Fisker sometimes. So, that'll come up in a few minutes when I start talking about something else. But right now, if Fisker can get Oceans sold, if you go back and you read the last real business update that we had, Fisker had roughly 4,700 Oceans that were unsold. Now, it's unclear how many of those would have been 2023s, would have been 2024s, and how many of those would have been in the United States. It's my understanding that only the United States, not Canada, not Europe, not anywhere else, is having the Oceans on sale. The dramatic reductions that people are reaching out and trying to get. That's my understanding. I'm pretty sure I'm accurate on that. I've talked to enough people to feel confident about that. So I would have to guess that the vast majority of those 2023s, potentially all of them, are in the United States. And we could pick up a number. Let's say they can move those at, say, 38,000, a pop. And maybe they move 1,000, maybe they move 2,000. That would be the immediate revenue that Fisker could use. Now, how does that work with the note holder? Because we are in default with the note holder. I don't know. I have no idea, and I would very much like to find out. Maybe we'll find out something from Fisker. Maybe they're working on a deal. I have no idea. But revenue would be the most immediate way. But from talking to customers, potential customers anyway, it seems like Fisker is not doing a good job of getting back with these customers that want Oceans. Through StockTwits, and through my YouTube channel, I've actually talked to several people that really want an Ocean badly, and they're not having any luck. Basically what they did, if you haven't tried to do this yourself, most of them did it this way. They got on the website, they found a vehicle that they liked, they clicked, okay, interested or whatever the link was, and then it said, Fisker will reach back out to you. And they've not been contacted, and a lot of them, were just like, am I going to get one? I want one. Am I going to get one? I want one. And, they're just not getting any traction yet. There's two ways you can look at that. Either Fisker is overwhelmed with the demand, or they weren't properly staffed to handle the demand, Okay, which one you're going to choose? I don't know. We'll see. And the third thing that I could see potentially getting us out of this is a private investor. Maybe a private investor would like to come in and put some money into the company. I think Fisker is worth saving. I truly do. Fisker has, dug themselves in a terribly large hole, a Grand Canyon, if you will. And if I were a private investor, if I had the type of money to come in, let's just pick a number, okay? Let's say $700 million. I would want part ownership of the company. I would be asking Hendrik and Gita to part with Class B shares. Will they do that? I don't know, but I'm just speaking, hypothetically. But I don't know if a private investor would be allowed to come in unless the note holder would allow it. I would think the note holder would be open to that, though, because if Fisker goes bankrupt, what do they get? I don't know. Maybe the courts decide that. We'll just have to see. So maybe a private investment is a good option for Fisker. Also know that we have a reverse split coming up. Is that still on the table since we're on the OTC and we've dropped so much in value? I don't know. We had a potential, I think it was, without going back and looking, okay, I'm going by memory here, I think it was 1 for 10. At this point, that wouldn't do us any good at all. We had 1 for 50, which is horrendous for shareholders, but even a 1 for 50 wouldn't get us in compliance, would be what, bumping up against $1. And then, what happens? Do we drop to 99 cents, 90 cents, 89 cents, or do we go up and do we stay there? Okay, flip a quarter, I don't know. But the reverse split right now without a cash infusion looks, grim. So I'm not sure what Fisker is going to be thinking there. Next thing we have to consider is, it's obvious that Fisker is in cash saving mode, okay? Dramatic cash saving mode. They're probably going to lay off a whole bunch of people and just keep the bare necessities, probably techs, people to handle paperwork, people to handle sales, and, any, let's just say excess will most likely get laid off would be my best guess. How do we get Magna to start back production? Do they ever? Is that even a possibility? I think Magna would want to see, some cold hard cash before they start back up production. I think it's very clear, though, that at the right price, Fisker has huge demand for its product. I've seen that, from people with a dramatic reduction in prices that want an Ocean. And they're willing to take the risk even if Fisker, potentially goes out of business. Imagine what that demand would look like if we, I'm going to make up a number. We had a $45,000 Ultra, and Fisker was for sure going to stay around. I think the demand would be off the charts positive for Fisker, but that's not where we are. So, what are our good options here? I'm not totally sure in any of these how these will play out. So how much cash would Magna need to see before they would be willing, to fire back up the machine and get Oceans going again? I think the best way, sorry, my leg's itching. I think the best way that, we could potentially work this out is just dramatically clear out our inventory as fast as possible. And from what I am seeing, it seems like the demand is strong. But once again, Fisker is mismanaging, these potential customers. And if they mismanage them too long, they're going to lose some of those, I would think, because, people just get frustrated. Hey, if I can't even buy a car, how am I going to get it serviced? So I think that's something that's all on Fisker here. So, we'll have to see how that plays out. Now, the last thing that I think I would throw in here is a best case scenario. I think a best case scenario at this point for Fisker, for the shareholders, would simply be a true buyout. Somebody just step up and say, I like what Fisker's brought to the table. Love the product, love the design, love that you're working with Magna. I think I could turn this ship around quick, fast, and in a hurry with the right management and simply buy them out. Now, is Henrik and Gita open to that? I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine, okay? I really have no idea. But as an investor, which, yeah, I still am an investor, okay? And I'm an owner of the product, very much like the Ocean. I would very much like to see Fisker succeed. I truly would like to see this company succeed, even though I have been decimated, investing in this company. I don't think anything would make me much happier, as far as, company-wise, okay? To see this company survive. I would very much like to see Fisker get it together with a buyout. And, in the past, I would have always been against a buyout because I always thought Fisker had so much potential. And I still do. But I think management has just been so lacking from Fisker. And I think our last round of sales here shows that, because you have so many potential customers lining up, wanting to buy an Ocean, and they're hearing crickets. They're waiting on the phone for an hour and a half, and it's just been crickets for them. They're being told that they will be, contacted back by email, and they're waiting. So, that's a bad way to do a potential customer. So, Fisker needs to get with it. That's why I think at the end of the day, after looking at all of this, for the customers and the investors, it seems like the best possible scenario at this point would just be a true buyout. Now, who would be interested in that? I don't know. I have no idea. Your guess would be as good as mine. I'm just throwing things out there. So after saying all of this, if you are an investor, or if you are an Ocean owner, or if you are a potential Ocean owner, and maybe you got on the website, maybe you've had better luck than other people have that I've talked to personally, share that on my YouTube channel. Let me know. If you tried getting one and you're not getting anywhere, share that on my channel and let us know, and we can have a fruitful conversation about that. I think that that's something that most people would enjoy, getting to know information from others. So I just made this video because I followed Fisker from the very beginning, and even though everything that's happened, I would still very much like to see this company survive. And not only survive, I would like to see it thrive. I truly believe, if anyone's out there watching this video, that's got $1 billion to invest in a company, I truly believe that Fisker is worth saving. It's a great product. It just needs a little polish, and it needs new management at the very, very top. The people in Fisker that I have talked to are superb. When you get somebody on the line at Fisker, I don't care who you've talked to, okay, at any level of Fisker, I have been super impressed. But it seems like the very top has mismanaged the company, and the customers and the consumers have suffered because of that. All right, guys, drop me some notes in the comments and let me know what you think, and I appreciate you joining in. And as always, I started this channel for one main reason. I wanted to get accurate information out for the product and for the company. And if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button. Always hit the like button, unless you just didn't like the video, because that helps other people, see my content and reach other people. And we all know that Fisker needs brand awareness. And on an ending note here, I truly considered doing an April Fool's joke, but I felt like that would be out of character for my YouTube channel. I was maybe going to come in, and say, I sold everything. I'm gonna rename my channel, you know, and I thought about doing that just to mess with you guys, but you know, I thought that would be pretty funny for April Fools, but I decided against it. So thanks for joining in, and until next time.